Hi loves, welcome to TT's Urban Pantry. I wanted to share with everyone some of the resources that I use for canning and preserving. First book. And I think this is an excellent book if you are a beginner, if you're not sure exactly how to start, where to start, or even, okay, I've canned tomatoes before, I've canned green beans, what else can I do? I think this is an excellent book. I talk about this all the time. I reference it a lot. And if you've seen any of my lives, I tell you how used this book is. This book is about 4 years old. I have tabs on here. There are pages that are stuck together. There are pages that are coming out because I use this book. I even make in my own notations. Especially if it's a recipe that I use a lot, I may highlight what the headspace is and what the processing time is for a quart versus a pint. So I make notations in here. I have tried canning ebooks, and I really prefer something that I can write in just because of that. If it calls for green onions, like I said, I may tweak it, and I may use, if it calls for green peppers, I may tweak it and I may only use half that amount of green peppers and substitute in the other half either jalapenos or something hot or even something sweet. My next book is the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving 400 Delicious and Creative Recipes for Today. I believe I got this at Walmart. This one, I know that Barnes & Noble had it. I checked their site and they said they had it in the store. However, when I went in the store, I could not find it, and I even got someone to help me. So I did get this to Amazon. I'm also going to list all these books below in the description and links too if you're interested. Here again, I feel like this is a level 1, like I said, for beginners. And then level 2, a intermediate stage. There's some recipes in here, but then just like this, it has your basic straight tomatoes, straight green beans, straight broth, and then there's a couple of additionals in there to jazz it up. Some of the things that I have bookmarked: applesauce, vegetable stock and vegetable soup, potatoes, and then I even bookmark the index. That way, if I'm really looking for something, I don't have to search for that. There are some colored pictures in here. And then it references to what page you can find that on. This next book is new to me. I've only had it for about a week. I tried getting an ebook, which was fine for the moment, but I just found out that the way it read and the way I like to make notes and everything, that I was going to get a actual tangible book. So this book is called the All New Ball Book of Canning and Preserving. Now, one thing about this is not loaded with canning recipes. Down here it says over 350 of the best canned, jammed, pickled, and preserved recipes. So what I found with this is, here's an example. I kind of bookmarked a bunch of things that I wanted to try. The first one was drunken peaches. I will definitely be doing a video on that. A Southeast Asian sweet and sour sauce, and this is a canning recipe. Now here I bookmark meatballs in marinara sauce. Right here. And I just thought it was a canning recipe, and as I was looking at my ingredients, it says breadcrumbs, milk, and I'm like, wait a minute, you can't can that. So it's still very new to me, but the way I see it is, over here there is a canning recipe for oven roasted marinara, and over here is how you can use that marinara, which is great. I really like that. There are times where I will see a recipe and I'm like, what am I going to use that for? What am I going to do with that? So I do appreciate that Ball has taken it a step forward and said, this is what you need to can, and this is how you can use that. So I like this. This also has some one jar meals. I did a live stream where I canned pot roast in a jar. And I kid you not, it was pot roast in a jar. You had your pot roast, so your roast meat, your potatoes, carrots, onions, and celery. And you just raw packed everything in there, topped with some hot broth, and pressure canned it. So I thought that was fabulous. I actually bookmarked a couple more recipes like that. And I really appreciate that because I know there are times where I can something. It's like, oh, now I got to make something to go along with it. It's a meal in a jar. So some of the other things that I had bookmarked for a meal in a jar, and I will be doing those recipes. So make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification icon. That way, when I do post those videos, you're aware. So some of the simple one jar meals, as they call it, is chicken chili verde, chicken curry, chicken and gravy dinner in a jar, pot roast in a jar, beef stroganoff, shredded chipotle beef for tacos. So on the next page, it says simple one jar vegetables. So curried carrots, herb carrots, honey ginger carrots, Mexican corn, succotash. That's just fun to say. Succotash. Lemon garlic green beans, balsamic beans, green beans and mushrooms, herbed potatoes, chipotle potatoes, and Mediterranean potatoes. Those sound delicious. And it also has some freezing, dehydrating, jam, pickles, and fermenting recipes as well. Here is a book that I tried that honestly I have to say I was not in love with. This is The Complete Guide to Pressure Canning. This is by Diane Devereaux. I believe that's how you pronounce her last name. And she is known to be the canning diva. I've only used about 2 or 3 recipes out of here. I felt like they were not my cup of tea, not my family's cup of tea. I could always try it out just to try something new, but you may not actually eat it. So it says beef stew, which I already have, beef broth, shellfish broth, roasted vegetable broth, fish stock, lentil sausage casserole, white bean ragout, Cajun black-eyed peas. I don't know that word. We're not really gonna eat any of that, and it's like the stuff that they did have that we would eat, I've already canned. So there's stewed tomatoes or basil diced tomatoes. I've already done that. But I feel like if you are definitely looking for something new, wanted to branch out and try different things, this would be the way to go. She has some other canning books. I've never checked them out. Honestly, this is my only book by her. Before I go any further, I would like to mention that I am a certified master home food preserver. So I took a class where it not only taught the basics of water bath canning, pressure canning, fermenting, pickling, dehydrating, and freezing, but it went into a lot of safety, the science of why we can the way we can, the science of why we should be canning the way we can, and making sure we're actually using and utilizing tested recipes and cross-referencing anything with approved recipes or websites or anything like that. So this book I actually got from the University of Purdue. So where I am, the University of Purdue is my extension office, and you can look for that class at your local extension office. Here's the book. It's very big, but it, like I said, it hit so many subjects. I took so many notes, and there are self quizzes in here. There are pre-chapter quizzes and post-chapter quizzes. There's recipes in here, and I also had to take a final exam. So I picked this book up there, and it's called So Easy to Preserve by the University of Georgia. And it has some troubleshooting. And I mean, this is a big book. Altogether, it is 388 pages. It's preserving as well, so it's going to talk about dehydrating fruit leather, herbs and spices, stuff like that. But it also has some pretty good canning recipes if you're interested. Some canning pie fillings. So apple pie, blueberry pie, cherry pie, peach pie, minced meat pie. Not for me. Green tomato pie filling. That's new. I've never heard of that. Also has some pressure canning recipes. Tells you how to test the doneness. Spiced tomato jam with powdered pectin. Peach conserve. Talks about blanching. I really like this. And what I really liked about it is, if you watched any of my videos, you know I rave highly about the National Center for Home Food Preservation. Well, that website is ran by the University of Georgia. So this is their book. They go together. They're siblings. So there's that. I'm just going to look and see if it lists. I know I do have a book where it lists some additional resources at the back, but it might not be this one. It talks about the authors as well. So I like this. It's not one of my go-tos. If I'm just looking for something, I will probably always grab the Ball books first. But if I'm looking for something different, I know that I can look in here. I also have from USDA the complete guide to home canning, and it mentions fermenting again, pressure canning tomatoes, fruits and vegetables, poultry, red meats and seafoods, jams and jellies. So there's that. And once again, it just has some recipes in here. I really like that it's not recipe on top of recipe on top of recipe. I have plenty of room to make notes, highlight, and mark everything. So this is by the USDA. I would like to list a couple more resources. Like I said, there is the website, the National Center for Home Food Preservation. That is a real good one, and I go to that website often. If I don't have a book with me and I want to know something, I know that I can push that in. Matter of fact, if I start typing in NAT, that pops up for me because I'm there so often. Okay, food preservation resources. So right at the top, National Center for Home Food Preservation, and I will also put that website down below in the description. It also says the USDA. There's another one that says Preserving Food at Home, a Safe Study. Then there is the FDA, Produce Safety for Consumers. And then last but not least is freshpreserving.com, which is the Ball website. If you've ever tried to look for recipes at the Ball website, it's going to take you to freshpreserving.com. So those are all of my resources. Thank you so much for watching. These, like I said, the Ball books are going to be my go-to. I always have those on the top just because I'm going to grab, and it's going to be the very first one. And I'm not even sure if I mentioned the name of it, but it's Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving. I'm always going to probably reach for this one first. It's the oldest. It has stood the test of time. But that's it. So I just wanted to put this together because, like I said, I do get a lot of questions about what do I use, where do I get the recipe from. And I thought this would be a good time to put everything together, have it all in one spot so you can kind of see what I look for. I am in the market for more canning books. I just kind of get a little bit leery. I don't just trust anyone's canning book. I want to make sure that they are using an approved recipe. And they are also directing if you have any questions or if you're looking for additional resources. So that's some of the things that I look for when I'm purchasing a new book. So I am on the lookout. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you for watching TT's Urban Pantry. Please like and comment. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this content, please check out the rest of my canning instructional videos.